Hey guys, and welcome back to Mondays with me, Dr. Crystal. So we got a few more things in the house, as you can see. When it's completely done, I'll take you guys on a tour, but it's not ready yet. I think it's still gonna be a little while. So I wanna start talking to you guys about some of the injuries I've had in the past. It's one thing to teach you guys about just any injury, which we can definitely do, but I feel like it's a whole nother thing to teach you about injuries that I've actually experienced. I actually really like treating patients for injuries that I've had in the past because I feel like I can just a little bit more relate to what they're going through. Like most of the time when I see somebody for an injury, I've seen other patients that had the same thing, but I don't personally know how it feels. For me, just knowing how it feels just adds like an extra level to it. So when I first thought about doing this series, I started to think about all the injuries that I've had in my life. And I thought to myself, considering how active I am, I've been super lucky. Like I have not been injured that often in my life. Shortly after I had these thoughts is when I literally just broke my entire face. If you've been here for a while, you know. Yeah, there's that. On the bright side, I have more content now. Anyways, the first thing that I want to talk to you about and what we're going to talk about today is the time that I broke my ribs. Let's go. Let me set the scene for you. It's summer 2018. I've just finished my sports medicine fellowship. Life is good. I've accepted a job at Notre Dame. Hasn't started yet though. Doesn't start till November. So even though life is good, I don't have health insurance, but what could I possibly need insurance for? I'm 30 and healthy. So it was amazing. I went from being so busy in fellowship to having all of this free time. So I got a membership at LA Fitness and I was playing basketball every single day. It was amazing. And when I say every day, I was literally up there every day for hours playing pickup basketball. It was awesome. I was having so much fun. So I head over to LA Fitness for my daily basketball fix and there's only 3 guys in there. And so we decide to play 2-on-2. So we're playing whatever. These guys all had like at least 75 to 100 pounds on me. Like they're big grown dudes. But I'm not about to let that scare me. So the ball goes up. I can tell it's gonna be a miss. So I go in for the board. I'm gonna reenact for you. All right, so I'm coming in, the ball's coming off the right side of the basket. I jump up to get it. At the same time, this dude that's like 200 pounds also jumps and just smashes my right side. I think it was with his elbow or something. After that, I'm on the ground. So then I got back up to finish the game because I'm not a wuss. And I tried to play and I was just like, I cannot. Later on, the guy told me, yeah, I heard a crack. But he did not tell me it at that time. So I went home thinking that I just had like a bad contusion and I was literally in so much pain. So let's talk about rib fractures. Most commonly, they're caused by blunt trauma. I definitely had that. In clinic, I see a lot of rowers, so they will often have rib stress injuries that just kind of happen over time, so they get gradual chest pain over time. But mine, it was a clear moment. Most of the time for rib fractures, there's not a lot to do. Like you're not gonna cast your chest, so you just have to kind of wait for them to heal and treat them symptomatically. The big complications we worry about with rib fractures are 1, pneumothorax, which is essentially air on the outside of the lung where it's not supposed to be, so your rib kind of pokes a hole in your lung. We worry about splenic laceration because your spleen is right down here, and if your rib breaks and pokes your spleen, you can bleed out internally. And then we also worry about pneumonia because a lot of times when people have rib fractures, they don't take deep enough breaths, and when you're not expanding all the parts of your lungs, you can easily develop infection. So usually if you come in and I'm concerned you have a rib fracture, I'll get an x-ray. If you remember back to the previous part of this video, I did not have insurance at this time. Pretty quickly after this injury, I realized it was not getting better as fast as I would expect a contusion to. And so I was like, yeah, I think I broke my ribs. So luckily, although I did not have insurance, I am a sports medicine doctor at this point. And so I had access to an ultrasound and I ultrasounded my ribs and I saw this. So this was a couple weeks later. You can already see that the fracture is starting to heal. So I had fractures on 2 ribs. In clinical practice, oftentimes if you have 3 or more ribs broken, you have to be hospitalized for further monitoring. So barring major complications or other associated injuries, the main treatment for rib fractures is focused on pain control. You want to make sure the pain is controlled well enough that you can take those big breaths so we can avoid things like pneumonia. The way we usually do that is with NSAIDs. So I put myself on NSAIDs. I think I was taking scheduled naproxen twice a day. For me, the muscles around my chest wall were spasming really badly, so I was using a heating pad as well to try to relax those muscles. Usually rib fractures take about 6 weeks to heal. Mine hurt for about 7 weeks. The whole time it was healing, I could not lay on my right side because it hurt too bad. Then eventually one day it just felt better and I was back to normal. Generally, if you just fracture 1 or 2 ribs and they're not displaced, meaning like they are still pretty much lined up, you can get back to activity as tolerated. I probably didn't play basketball for about 5 weeks after that, which is so sad because it was the one time in my life where I had absolutely nothing to do and I could play basketball as much as I wanted. Let me know if you guys like this and you want me to continue telling you about my other injuries, or also you can leave your injuries in the comments below and maybe we'll have a little lesson on that. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.